Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. Today is a really good day, and I mean both for the channel and the team. 3 new subscribers came in today, so thank you so much. We are up to 75. I'm just very pleased to make that announcement, and 75, to me, it really feels like a milestone, so thank you so much, everybody who subscribed to Giants Baseball 101. The Giants played out the rest of their suspended game today, and they won it in the 10th inning. That rally they had in the 8th, it was a couple hitters struck out. They couldn't get anything home there. But Ryan Walker pitched a scoreless bottom of the 8th. Giants didn't score in the top of the 9th. And Tyler Rogers held the Reds scoreless in the bottom of the 9th and sent the game 2 extra innings. And in the 10th, with the automatic runner aboard, Joc Pederson doubled in a run to put the Giants ahead 3-2. After that, Michael Conforto ended up being safe on a fielder's choice, and that allowed another run to come in. Then Camilo Doval got the save in the bottom of the 10th to send the Giants to a 4-2 victory. So I think that was just a great game for them. In 7 innings yesterday, Logan Webb just worked the way through for the Giants, and they got a couple of runs on, and then there was the rain delay and the postponement of the game. And then the Giants, they came back today, they rallied, and they won in extra innings. The Giants' record in extra innings, by the way, this year has just been so good. You really can't take that for granted. So they took game 1, and then they played game 2. Anthony DeSclafani didn't last long, so it was basically a bullpen day for the Giants, and Wilmer Flores actually hit 2 home runs today, so that's a pretty big power streak for him. He hit a solo shot yesterday in the first game, and today in game 2 he hit 2 home runs. The Giants ended up beating the Reds 11-10, so they've taken the first 2 games of this series, so it's just a really good day for them all around, and they are just climbing their way. And I actually didn't check the standings today, but I'm going to do that very soon. But the Giants, it's just been a really good couple of days for them, and their bullpen. I'm going back to finishing up game 1 here, going back to the few innings they played of the first game that was suspended yesterday. Webb had thrown, I think it was like 86 pitches, and that was the real tragedy of the rain delay, that Webb very obviously was knocked out of the game come today. And yet the bullpen, it's just, even Ryan Walker got in there with everybody, and he pitched a scoreless inning. The more relievers the Giants have that they can trust to throw quality innings and rely on, the better it's going to be for the team. And the bullpen really carried it through in those late innings, and the Giants got another extra inning win there. And in the second game, it was just pretty much the bats getting hot, everybody just doing their thing, and it was really a marathon all the way through, because the Reds were up 5-4 to begin with, and the Giants got ahead. The Reds got ahead again after that with a 3-run homer, but the Giants ultimately took over to win the game. So that was just a long, drawn-out battle, but this was just an area where the Giants, with timely hitting, with guys who could get the bat on the ball, they won this 1-run game. So what they've shown in these first 2 games of this series against the Reds is the ability to to just do what they have to win games that end by a slim margin. That's what they've done well, and it's really put them in good position. Since the end of the All-Star break, they have not lost a single game, and as long as they can take that streak, the longer they can take that streak, the better. Now, I wanted to do my best to evaluate just as far as the numbers and the expectations can really tell us what we're supposed to be thinking about the trade deadline right now. And I will focus on Shohei Ohtani today and whether the Giants still have a chance of getting him. The Angels, if you look at it, have a 48-48 record. So right now they're exactly at 500. They're tied. And really from there, they would ask a high price on Ohtani anyway. But I think the particular thing at play here that's going to make him particularly high price is the fact that the Angels are really not going into the deadline eliminated from playoff contention. Although they are fourth in the American League West, they are within reasonable grasp of a wild card spot, which is why if they did put Ohtani on the market, and don't get me wrong, he's a player that they'd ask a lot for in any case, but why that's likely to be sky high this year, it's because the Angels are in a season that really could go either way. They're going to feel like they're giving up more because if there actually would have been some chance that they can make the playoffs, it is of greater cost to them. And they will not make Ohtani available unless they're going to get a ton of good prospects for him. Just a huge positive return. That said, there are a lot of teams that are more likely than not going to try to put up this price that the Angels are doubtless to ask on Ohtani. And some teams we have to be more concerned about than others. If the Dodgers just do what they always do, they might be in the mix for him. And yet I've still heard talk, I've still seen things about the Giants being in contention to get him. So the Giants have not given up on Ohtani yet. Now, I know the real question here. Who would it be? Who's okay to be traded if the Giants are to land Ohtani? Obviously, it would be impossible for them to get him without giving up something that hurts. I recognize that fully. But the question is, how far are they supposed to go? And that is something that it really can't be answered with certainty until we find out what exactly the asking price is going to be. The fact that the Angels now have a tied record, and before they had a winning record, like a month ago, that was the approximate amount of time, but approximately a month ago, they had a winning record. So this is quite a bit of a downfall for the Angels, and really, this is what I was hoping for, because it really seems to make it more likely that Ohtani will be put on the market. Is this the right thing for the Angels to do? Well, the answer to that, in my mind, maybe this is an opinion, but in my mind, there's an obvious answer to that. Unless the Angels have a skid where they lose just about every game from now until the trade deadline, no. The Angels, just considering the shame it would be for their organization not to make the playoffs with Ohtani there, they are burning their bridges by trading him, in my opinion. However, we can sometimes benefit from other teams' front offices making mistakes. And if the Angels don't take into consideration what they should take into consideration, that may put Ohtani up on the market. which will make him available for the Giants. So I'm not here to say what the Angels should do at all. I'm here to say what I believe the Giants should do, and that is to make a reasonable effort to get him. There wouldn't, if the Angels were not taking it into serious consideration to put him on the market, I'm confident there wouldn't be all this talk about Ohtani going anywhere, unless it's just the media trying to keep people engaged and excited and all that. But I think there is something very realistic here. Whatever we may think about whether the Angels should be doing this from their organizational perspective, however it is, I think there's a good chance Ohtani will be on the market, and even more so now that the Angels have dropped down to a tied record. So, in that sense, it would be kind of crucial in the next couple of weeks for them to actually lose games. That's an area where maybe we could be helped out a lot by it. But all the same, I'm sure they retain enough sense, even if it's just enough, they will retain enough common sense that they won't trade Ohtani unless they're going to get a huge rate of return on him. The Giants, and there are players that I think we really wouldn't want to see them give away, like Kyle Harrison. But still, the way I view it is this opportunity is just too great to pass up. If he comes out on the open market, the Giants should try to make a splash at him, because this is it's an opportunity to maybe turn this into a completely winning year for them. They're on their way to a playoff spot. Last year, there was kind of a similar situation. It was with Juan Soto. And the Giants completely failed there, and he went to the Padres. But they have to learn from the past. Now they have another opportunity, and they can't pass up on it when the trade deadline comes. It's the kind of thing that would genuinely, and rightly so, feel like it might not be the right thing to do, because you just feel the weight of what you're giving up to get Ohtani. That's what it would, what it would for good reason feel like to the Giants front office. However, they have to overcome that, because this opportunity, it really seems to be the right thing to get Ohtani on their roster. And one of these days, it seems that they do have to go all in for it if they are going to win a championship. So that is the way things stand. But the point here is that I believe that the Angels and their dropping down to a tied record, it really improved the chances of Ohtani's being on the trade market to begin with. So that, I think that is all for now. So the Giants have taken 2 against the Cincinnati Reds, and they're on a winning streak, a completely winning streak since coming back from the All-Star break, and they need to continue this momentum. And in the big picture, yes, but I think we really saw last year how important it was that they perform near the trade deadline, and this is the time when it's so important for them not to have a skid, so that if nothing else, the front office will be motivated to add to the roster in the ways that are needed. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.